to another edition of the ABA Coffee in the Park. My name is Cam Milliken, and I am here with my co-host extraordinaire, Jennifer Herrick, the Executive Director of the Atchison Business Association. Hi, Jennifer.
Well, good morning, Cam. How are you this morning?
Oh, man, I'm so good, except it's not morning. It's 12:04. It's 4 minutes past morning.
You know what? Our listeners wouldn't have even known that.
I know,
so
but you said, because you said good morning, I don't feel like it's afternoon already. Anyways.
This is what happens all the time.
Oh, I can't believe it. However, it's a great day out here, and we're coming to you live from the Wall Coffee Roasters in the heart of beautiful downtown Atchison. That's right. So we are actually in a working, living coffee shop. Coffee shop. So if you hear machines whirring, people talking, kids screaming, no kids today. I don't see any kids. But it could happen. It's because we're live.
In the coffee shop.
In the coffee shop.
That's right.
Tell us about some very important people.
We want to thank our gold corporate sponsors, which include the MyShire Group of Companies, Genix, Parkland County, and Bow Valley Credit Union.
That's right. Without them, we would not be able to do what we are doing. So thank you very much for your support, and thank you to all our listeners.
Over 7,000 listeners, Cam.
7,000 people. That's half of Rogers Arena.
Isn't that amazing?
Oh, it's incredible. We'll be filling Rogers Arena soon.
We'll be
when we go on tour. Yeah, when we go on tour. Anyway, thank you for wherever you're listening, whether it's Vietnam, because we have... No, wait. Do we have listeners in Vietnam?
Yes.
We do?
We do.
Oh, unbelievable. Okay. Awesome. Anyway, that's really great. So wherever you're listening today, we hope your day is going great. And we have some very exciting guests today.
We sure do.
Do you want to tell us about them?
I'm going to tell you about them right now.
Okay.
Ready?
Ready.
Our guests today are Rob and Debby Wiedeman.
Yes.
Welcome.
Hello.
Good morning or afternoon.
Good
Rob.
afternoon.
It's afternoon. It's
Okay.
12:05 now, Rob.
Yeah.
Anyways, okay, now we got that straight. Glad to have you guys on the podcast. Is it your husband and wife?
Yeah.
You should just say that right off the top,
Yes,
right?
yes.
Yes. Okay, so the question we ask every guest right at the beginning, we'll start with Debbie, and then we'll go to Rob. Where did you come from? I know that's a...
This is why I do this question.
Okay,
The same place-
Sorry, ask the question.
The same place you came from.
So, Debbie, where were you born?
Yes, where were you born?
And where did you grow up?
Yeah.
I grew up in Edmonton, in the Hood in northeast Edmonton.
The Hood.
The Hood, I call it.
In
the Hood.
northeast.
Okay,
Yeah.
where in the hood, Debbie?
Yeah.
When Londonderry Mall.
Londonderry Mall.
Yeah,
North
Londonderry.
side.
North side. What
North
high
side.
school did you go to?
I went to Emmy Lizard.
Emmy Lizard. What was your mascot? The Emmy Lizard.
Voyagers.
The
Remember
Voyagers.
we heard this again?
Somebody the other day we interviewed went to Emmy Lizard.
Yes.
And they did, so that
I don't know
guy-
where that came from in my brain, but
Yeah,
that's what
right,
it
a
was.
canoe, like paddling.
Yep.
Okay. Okay, cool. So yeah, you grew up in northeast Edmonton,
Yeah.
the Hood.
Yep.
And in those days, that was the Hood, wasn't it?
It was, and then it just changed remarkably.
Yeah.
Londonderry was pretty much the end of the north side of Edmonton. Now,
Yeah.
when you look at it now, 40 years later,
Oh, it's like,
not even close anymore.
you got lots to go
Yeah,
get now
yeah.
after that.
Correct.
Well, that's pretty cool. Okay, Rob?
You noticed that Debbie tried to answer for me earlier. I don't know if you noticed that. So I will give you my own opinion.
Your own opinion.
Yeah.
Okay.
Welcome to the husband and wife duo.
That's
here.
right, the husband and wife show with Debbie and Rob. Okay.
I
Where were you born?
I don't normally get to speak, so.
Oh, here we go.
Yes.
Okay. Where were you born?
Okay, I was born in Edmonton. We were living in St. Albert, and I was born in Edmonton. And then my dad moved to Edmonton with us probably when I was about 5 years old.
Okay.
Yeah.
But you were from St. Albert.
That's right,
In those
originally,
days,
yeah.
St. Albert was a long ways out.
Oh yeah, it was, and I think that's why you moved into Edmonton.
Right, too
yeah.
far a drive.
Yeah,
or whatever.
that's right. Yeah.
Okay, what part of Edmonton?
So we're from Roslyn, which is by the north, kind of central, by Northgate, that type area, by the tracks, so closer to Calder.
Oh, okay.
Yeah, yeah.
Okay, and what high school did you go to?
Queenie.
Queenie.
Yeah.
And the Queenie mascot?
Well, I didn't spend a lot of time there, but I do remember. I think it was the night. I think it was. I think it was. Like I said, I didn't spend much time there.
Yeah, okay. The night.
I think it was.
Rob.
I don't.
Yeah, I went to Rochelle.
Oh, okay.
We were rivals.
I'm sorry.
No, yeah, thank you. We were the Thunderbirds.
Yeah, I
Rochelle
remember
T-Birds.
that.
Yeah. All right.
So after high school, Debbie, what did you do? What did you want to do?
I always have wanted to be a social worker, but before I even got out of high school, I had met Rob.
Oh, okay.
Rival schools.
That's
okay.
right. Tell us this story.
Yeah,
How did you guys
How
meet?
did you meet then?
Well, you say it.
So I had a bunch of friends who'd worked at Safeway, and that Rob also had friends who worked at Safeway, and there was a big Safeway party.
Oh, a
so my
Safeway
girlfriend,
party.
my girlfriend invited me to the Safeway party,
Right.
and Rob's buddy invited him to a Safeway party,
Oh.
and that was in January or December,
Okay.
January of 1984,
Yeah.
and we've been together ever since.
So you
Wait, sparks flew.
Yeah,
Was it love at first sight,
yeah,
Debbie? What did you
like-
see Rob?
I'm
across the room?
gonna ask Rob. What do you? What
Yes, it was. I think I've got it all written out in my hand here. Yeah, no, it was.
It
Was-
truly,
is a
it
Safeway
truly
party a
was.
rockin' party? Like,
Well, at that time we thought it
was
was.
Yeah.
rockin'?
Yeah.
Okay.
Yeah.
So
I know. I still remember it clearly because it was a winter night.
Yeah.
My girlfriend drove us home. She packed us, about 6 of us, in the smallest car I've ever been in, and we twirled around on the 137th Avenue because she skidded out around and around, old Jerry. And so we made it home. But for Rob and I, it was.
But you saw each other.
Yeah, Rob handed me a bit.
And Rob, did you feel the same way? You saw Debbie, and that was like it.
Well, I wasn't really over enthused with her at the start, but it took a while.
Jeez. Folks, sometimes I wish we were videoing this because, like,
Well,
that's the best.
It's
the
a good
best
thing.
part. Okay.
Okay, Rob handed me a business card that night.
Yeah, gave you a business
At
card.
17.
Oh.
Yeah, it took a while for her to grow on me, but anyway, we hit it off pretty good, and of course, 40 years. Well,
Okay, but wait. Debbie, you have to tell us about the first date.
Yeah,
'cause
tell us
this is
about.
a good
Yeah,
story.
tell us about your
Oh,
first
yeah.
date.
Oh, well, okay, so Rob gives me the business card. So in 2 weeks, he
Did
says,
you have to contact him?
well, I did.
You had to phone him?
Because he said in 2 weeks, because he was trucking at the time. Rob
Yeah.
was a couple years older than
Okay,
me,
yeah.
and he was trucking up in Fox Creek, I believe. And he said, I'll be home in 2 weeks. So I actually put it on my calendar, and 2 weeks went by. And I thought Rob would be home by about 6 o'clock at night. So
Yeah.
at those time, there was no cell
Yeah,
phones or
no
anything like
cell
so.
phones.
I
Listen,
called.
kids, this is when
Yeah.
you had to pick up the
Yeah,
phone.
that's
Yeah.
right.
Yeah,
Any
I-
kids
Dial.
listening, there was a time when there were no cell phones.
Yeah,
No.
so I picked up the phone and very nervously actually, because a girl didn't call a boy.
Oh,
So-
that wasn't the norm in those days.
And his dad, Mr. Wiedeman, picked up the phone and I was very nervous and he says, no, Rob's not home. So he says, I'll give him the message. And I says, okay. So then 3 hours go by. But I thought, well, maybe he's really kind of older and he forgot or he lost the number. And I really,
not me, my dad.
your dad. But I think there was a real spark. So I said
Yeah.
to Rob, or I said to his, so I reluctantly phoned his dad again.
Yeah.
And his dad picked up the phone and I says, hello, Mr. Wiedeman, this is Debbie. He says, I know, you called a few hours ago.
Oh.
And I said, is Rob home? He says, no, but I do remember. I will give him your message and his phone number. So Rob didn't call me until 10 o'clock because that's when he got home that
Yeah.
night. And so nothing was open. Like we didn't, like
Yeah.
McDonald's just barely open
Yeah,
those
yeah,
days.
yeah, yeah.
And so I said, do you want to? So I says, well, what are we going to do? So Rob came and he answered. He says, I'll be there. So Rob came with his leather jacket, long hair, comes in and I
Like
says,
this?
yeah, just like that. And I says, well, where are we going? And he says, well, I'll take you to a drive-in. And I was like,
Drive-in.
and we never had a car growing up.
Well,
So when we were on the north side, and so Rob just knew there was a drive-in on the Calgary Trail somewhere.
I think so.
Yeah, and then
all the way
all-
over to Calgary Trail.
And all I saw was Calgary.
And you
So I thought he was kidnapping me.
Oh,
So I was so worried. I was like so scared. I was like, I like this guy, but
Yeah.
he's kidnapping me to Calgary.
Oh,
and at
man.
that time, going from the north side to the
Took a lot.
yeah, and we never even took
Yeah,
the bus
you're right.
to the south side. So I was like, oh my God, this fella. And so then I actually, was almost, I wanted to scratch his name in my skin if I was going to be chopped up or something.
Oh my God. Oh, we shouldn't laugh, but
Yeah.
that's kind of funny.
But, and then Rob we went to the drive-in, and it was like, oh, that was another story, because it was freaking, I didn't know about that, but it was body heat. So as soon as we drove in, there was like this naked girl in the shower, and I was like, oh my
The movie.
God, the movie. And it was like, I was so embarrassed. We didn't even know. And it was like, so then we got home, and then actually Rob had to go get his truck, because he drove me home in his big truck about 3 in the morning, and he had to go back to work.
3 in the morning.
So that's what he did. He came from my phone call that night. So
There you go.
Wow. And what did your dad think? Because if he brings you home at 3 in the morning, like, is that?
I had no dad at that
that's
time.
right. Okay, so that was okay to bring you home at 3 in the morning.
No, it wasn't.
No. Okay. So did you get in trouble?
Oh yeah.
What, from
Yeah.
who?
I think her mom later.
Okay.
Later.
I don't know.
Yeah, I
Rob,
think-
would you concur that this is how it went? This is how the story went. This is everything Debbie said. is true?
Pretty well, yeah. Her mom's never talked to me since.
Pretty much.
Oh my goodness. Okay.
That's
All right.
quite-
So
that was
first
true.
date, and then what happened? Like, it worked, obviously. So
Yeah, well, if you pull up with a truck and a sleeper and you go to the drive-in, I
heading to
mean,
Calgary.
yeah, there you go. That date went pretty good.
Wow.
And then, so how long was it until you got married?
So go ahead, Rob.
Well, 1980.
She said, notice she said that with a smile on her face. Go ahead, Rob.
Yeah.
How long is that?
1985.
Yeah, that's right. He just looked at his hand. He's got cheat
Yeah.
sheet. No.
So we met in 1980.
I could tell you the Kenworth year, but I don't remember that. It was a 76
The year
Kenworth.
of the truck.
Jeez.
Okay. So how long? You got married like from the
85.
first date?
Oh,
How long was that?
So I think we met in 1980. Or
Yeah,
1980.
yeah.
You got
so,
married in 85.
yeah.
So 5 years.
Yeah, so in between that, I went to school, and I became a child and youth care counselor, and then, so that 1985, in that May, the first week, I finished all my finals, planned a wedding, got married, had a birthday, and started a career in 2 weeks.
2 weeks. Wow.
It was
That's
it was a
incredible.
little nutty. So I said to Rob, "Do you realize I'm just finishing college?" He goes, "Yeah, it's all good." And you know what? I'll be honest with you guys. That should have been a little kind of a little placard.
Yeah.
This is how things are going to go for the next 40 years. This is your life.
This is my future. From-
And
yeah,
and
yeah.
it's been like that
Wow.
and we've been, our anniversary's coming up.
How
right,
many
Rob?
years?
40.
Yeah.
Wow. Okay. 40 years.
Yeah.
Congratulations.
In a couple weeks.
Congrats.
Yeah.
That's
Yeah.
really awesome. So you were a youth and child care worker.
I started there, but then I ended up furthering always my education. So furthering to my bachelor in social work and then a master's in social work. So
And you've been doing that for how long?
it would have been, I'm still casual now. I retired almost 3 years ago, this June 30th, but I stayed on as casual. So, and I was a mental health consultant for Alberta Health Services for many, many years in different areas. So I've done lots of different things and seen sort of the pendulum of supportive care and the, ideologies changing and how to support people and good and bad and now back to bad. So,
No.
Yeah.
No, that's my,
and
my
then so,
daughter's in that.
yeah.
I understand.
Yeah, and supporting Rob. Rob has,
Yeah.
we talk about it often, but Rob has had a definitely, you need like a week to sit down and talk about what he's been doing.
So Rob, in the Coles Notes version, tell us about what Rob does or did or all the things.
journey.
The journey,
Yes.
yeah.
I don't know where to start.
Yeah.
So it was, well,
You were trucking.
yeah, and then so I realized that I wasn't going to go far in that business. It was an interesting business. It gave me a very good income. Went from there into management, but before that, I went to school down in California as a commercial diver.
Really?
Yeah. So
like in the water.
yeah,
diver.
yeah. So we went to, it was a College of Oceaneering, they called it at the time, and in Wilmington, California, which is next to Long Beach.
Yeah.
And at that time, they were offering scholarships and student loans through the province, through
Right.
Alberta. So of course, anybody my age wants to go to California and live there, so I did.
Out.
Yeah.
But I'm thinking diving.
Yeah.
And you're from Alberta.
Yeah, so I was.
They're landlocked. There's no oceans
Yeah.
here. Like, what spurred that on?
Well,
What was-
I had scuba dived and snorkeled all my life, right from about 6 or 7 years old. My dad was really into the swimming and water sports. We had a cabin at Wiedeman, so we were there all the time. We were in BC on summer holidays, so my dad encouraged it. He bought a boat. We always had a kayak, and then we graduated to canoe, and then we graduated to motorboat. So we were always in that, and so anyway, he encouraged it, and I got my scuba certificate or qualifications when I was 14, and at that time you had to be 16, so I had to get my parents to sign off, and it was a big deal. So I got that, and then I went on from there.
Okay, and you went down south.
Yeah,
Became a
commercial diver. Yeah, didn't work at it because I came back up here, and then Deb and I had been already
Came home, no
going.
ocean,
Yeah,
kinda
yeah,
like find a
no.
job. Yeah,
Yeah,
Indeed.
yeah.
No listings on Indeed.
No.
No.
Yeah, okay.
There, I could have went to work down there and worked out of there, but I had Deb up here and wanted to be up here with her.
So what did you do?
Oh, wasn't that nice? I'll stress that.
So I went from there. We did some trucking. We actually had a liquidating store, one of the first ones around.
Really?
Yeah, I don't think I even told you that before.
We had no idea.
Yeah, so
June the 9th, we opened it up.
A liquidation.
Oh, you remember that?
June the 9th.
Yeah. So
What did you liquidate?
well, we were we were part of a 34 store buying group, and so the Midland Liquidating Corporation bought, and then we worked with this group to buy, and we started 3 stores in Edmonton. 2 my friends started, and 1 I had, and then so we bought tools and things like that, and then sold them again, and we bought some used stuff, not much,
Right.
and so that was what we had.
Wow.
We shut that down. We were at that time, it was still probably in its infancy. It wasn't ready yet. They weren't ready, but we did okay, and then we shut it down. Our joke was if once you got it out the store, the warranty was up. So. Yeah.
Okay. So liquidation's out. What's next?
Went into selling real estate. So worked with Canada Trust Realtor for a few years, and then a friend of mine was an agent for me after that for about 6 or 7 years.
Right.
Went to work for Greyhound.
you
Drove
always
bus.
had
You were a
Company.
driver,
Your
right? You were a
company.
Greyhound. Yeah. Wait.
Yeah.
Hold on. You were a Greyhound bus driver?
Yeah.
You
yeah,
were?
Yeah. Yeah.
You never told us this part
No, I
before.
guess I forgot.
This
It's
is pretty
too
incredible.
many things.
Where did you drive?
Yeah,
What was your route?
We didn't have, because we're on what's called the spare board, so you work there for a while, build your seniority up. I didn't stay there long enough, so I was there for the skiing. So I got to go on the ski trips. So I took a lot of ski trips. Yeah.
Just to let you guys know, Rob was really young doing this still.
A what?
You were young.
You were young.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Well, let's rewind. How old were you when you got married?
I had just turned 22, and Rob was still 23 going on 24.
Yeah.
Okay.
So I think I got on Greyhound when I was 24.
All right.
Because it takes a while. So we stayed there for about 4 years, and you work your way up.
Yeah.
Because it's hard to work your way up
Yeah,
there,
yeah.
and so anyway, wasn't getting a lot of, because you get laid off every year. So and then in between, I was selling real estate.
Right.
Yeah, that was the reason.
Okay.
And after that, got into some trucking management. So I managed a truck training school, oil field trucking company.
And your business.
Everything.
Yeah. And then, so my friend, he came up with a wacky idea that we're going to buy out a landscaping company. So we bought them out. And we started a landscaping business.
Yeah.
And so we didn't know what we were doing, but we did it.
Yeah.
We got a,
We didn't know what we were doing.
we ran street crews there for quite a while.
Wow.
And we were doing
that's
really
pretty
well.
good for not
Yeah.
knowing what you're doing. That's pretty
Yeah.
awesome.
Yeah.
Okay.
And then from there, we branched out and we got into a whole bunch of other things. And so we called it complex contracting. It was so complex we didn't know. We actually had to put an ad in the paper to try and get some landscaping business, and we didn't have a name for our company. So we had to come up with one quick, and it was called Complex. That was,
Okay.
yeah,
Complex.
that was,
Okay.
So we ran that for a few years and kept landscaping, got into some construction, and then we got into project management, and then we got into driving kids around. So we
and,
had.
and the movie
You
industry.
better explain that.
Oh,
Just
okay,
like
well,
driving
yeah.
kids around.
Okay,
What is
so-
that, like driving kids around?
So Deb, being a social worker, had the inside
yeah.
track here. So he got a contract with Children's Services, a big one, with 55 drivers, and yeah. So we went from 3 employees to 55 virtually overnight, and also built a house and moved in and started a business.
And the restaurant.
Well, that was later.
What?
That was
Wait a minute,
later.
restaurant.
Yeah, you're-
What restaurant?
you're too
No,
far.
at one time we overlapped with about 110 employees.
Yeah, we had over 120 employees at one
120.
time.
Okay,
yeah.
so wait, what
Yeah.
restaurant? Tell me about the.
So-
Tell us about the restaurant.
So we were going to build a restaurant, and then we got, then I think the client backed out, if I remember the story right. So we ended up, my partner had been in the restaurant industry before, so he said, well, let's just take it over. So we built it, we operated it, and then stupid enough, we bought another one. And
sold them both.
Yeah, and then we sold them both. So we had 75 people in there, roughly.
And then
I don't know even what to say.
and then one day Rob comes home and says, I think I'm going to run for councillor. And then it was
Oh, yeah, I think you're jumping ahead, but anyway. Yeah.
but that was after around the restaurant
yeah,
time.
yeah.
Driver,
Truck driver.
truck driver, landscaper,
Landscaper.
construction, restaurateur.
Big projects.
Well, between that, I went and taught at Nate for a year and a bit.
And Greyhound driver.
Greyhound.
And now
Greyhound.
Nate teacher.
Yeah.
Crane and hoisting I taught. So.
Oh my goodness, this is unbelievable.
Yeah.
Debbie, how do you like?
Remember
what
I
did
told
think?
you, remember I said, we're getting married, but Rob, I got this schedule of finals. Oh, you'll do it. It's
Yeah.
all good. And you know what? Life has been like that with Rob. I just said that to Rob last night. You have done anything and everything. And I've supported him always.
yeah.
Always supported him.
Wow, it's incredible, really.
Yeah.
And how many children do you have?
We have 2 beautiful daughters.
2 beautiful
yeah.
daughters.
So Lindsay, who is a high school teacher in Spruce Grove,
Right.
and she gave us 2 beautiful grandkids. So we're Papa and Nana.
Yeah.
So Brooks is 5, Katia is 3.
Right.
So can I tell a little thing about Katia?
Yeah, give her. Yeah,
Well, I know where this is going.
So, well, your listeners will love this. Katie is going to take the world like her mom does, you know, and so and Lindsay's married to our wonderful son-in-law Matt. But we took the kids last week on a road trip. So we had a 5-year-old and a 3-year-old in the back seat for a week.
Where'd you go?
We went to our we have a place also in Sycamus, right, in BC.
Yeah.
So we took them during spring break to give Lindsay a break, and her husband sometimes works out of town. So so we're just sitting there in the living room, Rob and I and Brooks, and Katie is going to the bathroom, and she just yells as loud as Katie can, "Who peed on the toilet seat?" And so I'm glad I'm glad Rob didn't say anything, but Brooks said it was me. And so Katie just yells in her best 3-year-old voice. She's just 3. Well, Brooks, remember to shake it. So
This has been the age-old issue with men and women
Yeah.
since
Yeah,
the
it's-
beginning of time.
well, there it
Who
starts.
Did you lift the seat?
Yeah. So yeah,
Oh,
and then our other daughter is a sergeant as a peace officer in
Emily.
Yeah.
in Spruce Grove, and she has a beautiful son, Jameson, who's 4 years old, and.
Yeah.
And so we have a 5, 4,
Peace
3
officer,
sergeant.
3 grandchildren.
Amazing.
Yeah.
It's unbelievable.
Yeah.
Okay, so but we left off. We left off with you selling the restaurant,
Yeah.
and then Debbie jumped in, and said, "Counselor,
Yeah.
tell us about that."
Yes. Why did you decide to go
What
in
kind of
politics?
like not counselor sitting down counseling people?
No.
City council.
But it
or
happens.
Municipal county councilor.
We counsel people in the coffee shop
Yeah,
too,
that's
so
right.
yeah, which we're doing right now.
That's right.
Yeah.
Each other,
Yeah.
we just sit here. Anyway.
I'm not sure why I did it.
Yeah.
We got involved first as community league members, and I walked in as the president of got on as president of Londonderry Community League in the city, and then that was kind of our first opening to kind of politics.
I gotta
but-
just tell you this.
Oh.
Okay, so Rob puts on his high school suit,
Yeah.
We'd been married for a year.
Wasn't that old?
Yeah,
No,
it was.
wasn't.
No. When Londonderry.
No.
When we were in Londonderry, we'd only been married for a year or two.
Right.
And Rob, I said, Rob, what are you wearing? Because it was his suit from high school, and he says, well, I'm going to the community league meeting. I was like, Rob, really? So Rob comes back 3 hours later. And he says, so Deb? I says, yes. I said, how'd it go? He goes, well, I'm the president. I was like, are you kidding me? He goes, and you're the treasurer. I said, I wasn't even there, Rob.
Voted in abstention. Yes.
And I was like, I was so like, he goes,
Oh
yeah.
my
So,
goodness.
It was the suit.
It was the suit.
Yeah, that's right.
yeah.
Yeah.
So we pretty much started to give back to the community almost our whole married life.
right.
Yeah.
Yeah, we recognized that was important, and
Yeah.
we were younger, a young family, and we knew, like, we had our oldest daughter then,
Yeah.
so we knew it was important. And
So you went from community league president to
yeah,
your next.
yeah, when we moved out here,
ran for council.
Yeah, in 2001 I ran
Right.
and got on luckily, and
Yeah.
the old councillor that was there, he was retiring anyway, and
Yeah.
we had a few people I think run against me, but anyway, got on again, and then I ran for mayor in 2007.
Right.
Yeah.
And you were mayor.
Yeah, so from 7
This
to
is going
10.
to be quite the story when you're prime minister.
Oh yeah.
No,
It started in a community league
That's right.
in Londonderry.
Yeah.
And then, this is going to be incredible.
no, I'm too old for that now to go to
Wow.
prime
And
minister.
Okay, so-
you were councillor and mayor in Parkland County.
That's right. Yeah.
Wow.
Yeah.
How long were you mayor?
3 years.
Okay.
Yeah.
And so then you didn't run for mayor again.
No, I ran and got defeated.
Got defeated, okay.
And then so we had our business at the time, so I was still running that. My partner decided he wanted to go on to something else, so
Yeah.
he did, and I kept part of the business. So I had a contract called Bright Nights
Right.
at Horlack Park.
Oh,
So if you remember that one, that was the biggest Christmas light show in North America. Yeah.
And then built Castle Creek.
Oh, yeah, that's yeah.
Everything.
the guy has done everything. Okay, so
So I kept that for quite a few years.
Yeah.
Sold it. It was the Edmonton Chamber of Commerce that owned it. They were really good to work for.
Right.
Very good friends from that, and we still see them all the time.
Right,
And they were great. So we went on from that. They wanted. We mutually agreed that we should sell it. It was getting old.
Yeah.
We sold it to the General Hospital downtown, and I put it up there for a couple of years,
Right.
and then sold it for them again, and that was the end of it. In about 2016, something like that.
yeah.
So yeah,
and
worked
then
out
you
good.
ran again.
Ran
Councillor?
again in 2021.
Yeah.
Yeah.
2021,
Yeah.
okay.
And
So
you've been on council since
Yeah.
2021 again.
so it was a long break. Yeah.
Wow,
Yeah.
Debbie.
Yes,
It must just be a whirlwind.
it is a whirlwind, but
Yeah.
it has been
been
fun.
good?
And to add things as you know, as we sat down and
Yeah.
kind of Rob's hair is even falling out more because we're renovating our house on the
Yeah,
outside.
it's not
Yes.
going good.
It's going
Do
well.
you want to talk about that?
Yeah, we
No.
Rob, do you want to talk about that? No.
Deb might, but I don't want to.
Yeah, it's gonna go well. And
Listen, for any of our listeners, if you have any advice for Rob or Debbie on renovations, just email us and we'll pass it along to them because
Yeah.
this can be this. Yeah, anyways.
yeah. We live out at the lake, and it's been
Yeah.
30 years our house.
Yeah.
30. So it's been, in
Time
my
for a
opinion,
refurb.
time for that's exact.
Yeah, time
You
for
know
a
what?
refurb.
It is.
We
you know,
did the inside several years ago, and we've kept it up. So
Yeah.
now it's the outside. Yeah.
Yes.
Oh,
And it's
sometimes I wish this was on camera because this is priceless.
Yeah,
This is just priceless.
No, it's good. It's
Okay,
not.
so but 30 minutes has
Yeah.
just flying by. You guys are. I'm just going to say that you guys are amazing.
Oh,
and
thanks.
Debbie, we haven't even talked about all the work you've done,
Yeah.
which is absolutely amazing.
Yeah.
Maybe that's another podcast.
Yeah.
Maybe we talk a lot about
mental health.
and that
I
kind of
would
thing.
love to come
So
out.
maybe that's a
I agree.
podcast we do for sure.
Yeah.
Rob's kind of hoarded it with the 50 million jobs he's had.
Yeah.
I love it. It's just the best. But Debbie, you've done an incredible thing as well, and we'll do another podcast with you just
Yeah.
to be able to talk. We'll leave Rob. Yeah, on mental health.
Yeah,
We'll leave
that's
Rob-
more
Yeah.
important.
Rob
Well,
can be home.
And you know what?
decorating
And
or
I would
renovating.
be happy because
Yeah.
in the 40 years of working in this field, I've definitely seen where the pendulum has come and gone and
yeah.
stuff. But the importance of really sort of providing hope,
It's a great
and
conversation.
it's a great conversation, and I'd be really happy to have
Okay,
it.
we're running out of time.
Okay, final question. And Debbie, I'll start with you, and then I'll ask Rob. So, Debbie, what is the best piece of advice you've been given either personally or professionally that you carry with you to this day?
Oh, you get a moment to think about it. Can you go to Rob? Let me think about this for a second.
Can you go to Debbie? Probably. I've had lots of advice, and people try to tell you advice constantly. Probably, there's been lots, so I'll pick one. Probably don't get too full of yourself. Make sure that you listen to people and look at all the different ideas and take them into perspective, and don't think that one person doesn't know. Yeah. I think that's probably the number one
that's
thing.
Great.
So,
that's fantastic. That's excellent.
Okay, I just needed that moment.
Okay, you got it.
So
You
there's
seen her. She just lit up.
Yeah. Well, you know what is that? We both have the dear friends of the Sprouts, but Priscilla Sprout, when we moved out to the lake, and I was getting into this role of social work and counseling people and so forth, and she just kind of really like his Auntie Susan gave me lots of advice, and his dad, but this one has always kind of stayed with me, is with Priscilla Spratt. She said, there's things in life when you put things in order, the rest falls into place. And so, having your faith and putting your marriage and then your children and then your community and then your work. So if you put your work before your husband, or your husband or your children before your husband, she says things get kind of crazy. Now maybe at points in our life that's happened, but it always has come back to this, and that kind of has set me on the path.
Fabulous.
Yeah.
Fabulous. Well, you guys,
This has been great.
it has been
It's been
great.
a blast.
We love you guys. We do.
Yeah.
And we think
you.
you're great. And you got such a great story. And we only heard just, I feel like we heard
Just
just
the
like
beginning.
this little bit of it right here.
Yeah, tip of the iceberg.
So, Rob, I don't know what the future holds. I hope it's, well, you know what I hope.
Yep.
So,
Thank you.
You do a great job. You really do. And I mean that sincerely. We don't have a lot of politicians. You're actually only the second one. I think Karen Principe, City Councillor from Edmonton, and you.
Alan.
I just, what's that?
Alan.
No, we've never had Alan. No,
I thought he was on here.
No, Alan's there.
Now
we're gonna have to have Alan. Oh man,
he better get out here.
Anyway. So anyway, you do a great job. I appreciate what you do. I really do.
Thank you, because politics is hard.
It is.
And it's hard on the family, Debbie, and I know that sometimes it's not always easy. So we appreciate your service.
Yeah.
Thank
you, Debbie, for what you've done.
Well, we're going to go at it one more time.
Yeah. Oh, okay.
Huh?
She just said you're gonna run.
Yeah, I'm running again in 2025 and 20. Yeah.
All right.
So one more term, and
One more term.
I hope we got lots to accomplish in Division 5, and there's a lot of things happening. So I want to see that through.
And Parkland's a great place.
Yeah, it is.
It's a great
It is,
town.
and obviously down beautiful downtown Atchison
Yes.
here, we think it's great, and we're glad that you're at the helm of a lot of this.
Good,
and
thank
we
you.
appreciate it. So thank you guys very much.
Thank you so much.
Thank you.
Thank you.
I can't stop laughing.
Unbelievable.
What a hoot those two are.
There's that term, power couple. They're saying they are a power couple in so many ways. Unbelievable.
You know what? I love when we have the husband and wife dynamic on the show.
I agree. It's fabulous.
It really is.
And these two are amazing, and they're just amazing.
They're both great people.
Yeah, they
and,
really
and
are.
I really appreciate both of them.
Yeah, me too. And they become good friends. And but their story is amazing, and the fact that they just give back in so many ways, and I just love them.
Absolutely.
So hey everybody, thanks for listening, and we hope you enjoyed this as much as we did. Hey, make sure you tell everybody about our podcast. Your neighbors, your friends, your enemies, your work people. Hey, if you don't have any friends, make a friend just so you can tell them about the podcast. And anywhere you get your podcasts, or at www.atchisonbusiness.com. Thank you everybody for listening. Subscribe.
Subscribe.
You
don't want to miss an episode.
No, you don't want to. We appreciate you listening, and wherever you're listening from. Thanks everybody.
Thanks, everyone. See you next week.
See you next week.